Back in sunny Tampa, about to get things underway in the 2009 SEC tournament, brought to you by Avalon. And let's take a look at the starting lineups for this afternoon's first game. First, for the Rebels of Ole Miss, Holloway, the two whites, Malcolm and Tirico. Tirico is the SEC Freshman of the Year. Graham and Henry, and notable by his absence, David Huertas, averaging 18 points a game, the number 5 scorer in the SEC, who has an injured left foot and leads the team in minutes played. Kentucky starting lineup: Harris, Stevenson, Patterson, Porter, and Meeks, the familiar starting lineup for the Wildcats. And before we get things underway, let's check in with Dave Baker. Buzz?
Hey, Tom, you know, coaches talk about experience being such a big factor here. At least on the Ole Miss side, they're hoping that that's not the case, because, as you mentioned, the freshman of the year, Tirico White, his coming out party was against Kentucky. 7 of 15 from the field. He had 21 points, 5 boards, 7 assists, all in 37 minutes, as opposed to Jody Meeks, who was just 4 of 15 from the field and got 2 late threes. Can White replicate that today? That's the question for the Rebels.
And SEC basketball presented in high definition. We're available by Raycom Sports. Mike Stewart, Doug Sermons, J.B. Caldwell, the officials, and the SEC tournament is underway.
Rebels open up in a man-to-man defense. They really shut down Meeks, as Tom indicated at the top of the show when they played in Oxford. He's going to try to do that again here today. Zach Graham's got him.
And Meeks' first attempt is blocked out of bounds as Holloway came over to help as well.
We've got a clock problem already.
Might take a while to get the kinks worked out, you think?
Well, we have 35 seconds for a shot, and they've got it down to 16 seconds. I don't think that play was moving that quick. Let's see if they are they going to reset it. Yeah, they are. 21 seconds. Good way to start.
Porter inbounds to Harris. Rapid ball movement around the perimeter by the Wildcats, now with 10 to shoot. Leave Porter wide open. Here's Harris. Baseline cut off, 3 to shoot, missed it. But Patterson right there to just nudge it through.
He almost kind of rolled it over the edge of the front of the rim there. Kentucky opens up in a man-to-man defense.
And Porter all over Will Bogan, the freshman who's playing the point guard to start the game for the Rebels today. Malcolm White. Tough shot over Patterson, and it's good by Malcolm White.
Well, that's a nice move right there.
Malcolm only averages 7 points a game, the sophomore from Baton Rouge.
Patterson did everything he could defensively. He was right in his face with his arm extended. Stevenson trying to call for the ball down inside. He's got Murphy Holloway on him.
Here's Meeks. Jump stop, floater good as Jody Meeks connects.
Tom, if he gets a shot off today without at least one person in his face, I would be shocked.
You know, the Rebels forced him into that bad shooting day when they beat them in Oxford, and everyone sort of copied the game plan. They sort of set the template for defending Jody Meeks.
Good rebound by Patterson right there. Patrick has played very well this season.
They leave him open. He shows you Harry Stevenson had a wide open putback and for some reason turned his back to the rim and tried it over his head. No good.
Rolled it off of the rim. Patterson had a good look at the basket too.
Patterson was trying to show you can hit a 17-footer. Didn't get it. Looked like Stevenson had the easy putback. He couldn't connect. White went for the jam, couldn't get it. Tirico White for 3. Or no, it was not. Yes, it was. Tirico White, excuse me.
I gotta tell you, Tom, how about that freshman of the year? He has been remarkable. He did have a sort of a coming out party against Kentucky there in Oxford.
Meeks to the rim and one.
Nothing bodes better for Kentucky than Jody Meeks getting off to a good start. And he has done that. And here comes David Huertas.
Foul was on Malcolm White as Bogan goes to the bench as Huertas makes his appearance at the 17-18 mark. You see his 18 a game, as we said, 5th in the conference. Bothered by an injured left foot. See if that affects his play.
I didn't think Andy Kennedy could leave him out very long. I mean, he's just too valuable to this basketball team. They have to have him out there on the hardwood. And
he averages 32 minutes a game, the most on the team, so you know how valuable they do regard him as to the Rebels' success chances. Meeks knocks down the free throw, 7-5. There's Andy Kennedy, the Ole Miss coach, done such a great job. Remember, they lost 3 key players, Chris Warren, Neil Polonese, and Trevor Gaskins, to knee injuries. And he said at the time when Chris Warren went out, we might not win another game. And yet
he told us that.
He's won 7 games in the conference, 7-9, as Chris Warren watches from the sideline. All 3 of those players expected to be back in good shape. Talking to the, we're still checking about clock issues, I presume.
They are.
The conditioning man for Ole Miss saying that they're all progressing ahead of schedule.
How good would they have been this year, Tom, if all 3 of those guys had been able to play? I think they would have challenged LSU for that championship.
And how good will they be next year if those players return at full strength and Tarico White and others having gotten so much valuable experience this year? Here's Huertas for the first time. Porter chasing him. White hits it. He's 2 for 2. Malcolm White has 4 of the Rebels' 7 points, tied at 7.
Patrick Patterson has been victimized on both of those occasions, but you can't say much about his defense. He was right there.
Here's Patterson on the low block against Malcolm White. Oh, goes up. No good. Got his own rebound. Blocked partially. Kept alive. Out of bounds to Kentucky. Patterson kept after it, but he couldn't get it down.
That's the offensive play of Patrick Patterson. Watch his defensive work right here against Malcolm White. To not. Simply went to the bottom of the net as Malcolm White off to a good start for the Rebels.
As we pointed out, he only averages 7 a game, and he already has 4.
Oh, somebody went to sleep underneath down there. It looked like Murphy Holloway.
Josh Harrelson, who just came into the game, catches it right in front of the rim to put it through.
I don't know what Holloway was looking at.
Maybe he's surprised when Harrelson come in and didn't know who his man was, perhaps because he was all alone. Here's the double down of White. Loose ball picked off by Patterson. Porter with a push. Meeks fakes the shot, didn't get it away. Now Harrelson. Meeks made a strong cut to the basket, but they couldn't get it to him, and a foul called. It's on Holloway, the first foul of the game.
Tom, one of the things that I noticed right away in this Kentucky offense is the fact that Meeks is not forcing shots at this point, which I think he has been doing for the last 3 weeks. I think that's also a good sign for Kentucky.
First foul of the game on Murphy Holloway, second against the Rebels. Meeks, to me, is playing with more energy today than we saw him at the end of the regular season.
I think sometimes players get a little tired. And there's a point where you take a little bit of a break, you get 2 or 3, 4 days off, particularly during that conference season when you're usually playing Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Patterson with a cut to the hoop, missed it under pressure. Huertas the other way for the Rebels. Patterson only 1 of 5 to open the game, and there's a foul out on the floor. 15:30 left in this opening game. Somebody forgot about Josh Harrelson. Easy bucket. And the Wildcats on top. SEC tournament, Kentucky leads Ole Miss by 2. Get your cell phone ready for the Verizon text of war. We want your answer to this question. Who will score the most points today? Tarico White, SEC Freshman of the Year for Ole Miss, or Jody Meeks, the league's leading scorer for the Wildcats? To vote, text S1 or S2 to 55333. Both off to a pretty good start. Tarico has a 3-point basket, and Jody Meeks has 5 points here in the early going. Ole Miss is at 3 of 5. Kentucky's only 4 of 11 shooting. They have out-rebounded the Rebels 6-3. And 5 of the rebounds are offensive boards, though they have only 4 second-chance points. Tapped up and in by Cranston, who just came into the game.
DeAndre Cranston, a really good post guy. Good player off the bench for the Rebels.
Harrison missing a three-point shot. And the Rebels with a chance to take the lead. Here's Tarico White. Ramon Harris out on him. Huertas, a three-point shot, off-balance shot. Might have been partially blocked. An air ball, and Patterson pulls it down for his third board. And right to the rim to score.
Michael Porter right there.
Porter with a rare drive to the basket to lay it in.
I'm surprised he wasn't cut off, Tom. He got there awfully easily.
Meeks went for the steal. Graham tries to pull it up, but Porter came to help but committed the foul.
Go back and take a look at the Mississippi offense right here. David Huertas trying to get inside right here. Gets it high off the back and tipped in right there. Nicely done by DeAndre Cranston. And then watch Michael Porter on the other end for Kentucky. Off balance, took a little bit of a body blow and still got it off the glass.
Porter, though, committed his second foul. Stays on the floor with 14:23 to go, although we look to the scorer's table and there is a Kentucky sub. As Perry Stevenson comes in, giving Patterson a rest, so Porter will stay in the game with 2. Zach Graham ready for his second free throw. And we're tied at 11, the 4th tie of the game. We've had 4 ties and 2 lead changes. So token backcourt pressure from the Rebels. And now Kentucky sets it up.
The Rebels are down to his own defense. A matchup 2-3.
Harrelson right in the middle of it. Gave it back outside to Porter. Harris down the lane. No good. Another offensive rebound. This one Harrelson. Meeks for 3. No good. On the floor to Ole Miss.
Meeks may have rushed his shot a little bit there, fearing that the defense might close him out.
Graham defended by Meeks. Kind of a nonchalant shot by Graham. Not a very good choice, I don't think, and Kentucky has it.
Good defense by Meeks that time, too. He didn't take that fake and stayed right with him.
Meeks off a curl, drives to the rim, puts it, beautiful move. Jody Meeks and one. Wow, what a move that was. Showing you he can drive to the rim and not just shoot from outside.
Tom, a good point right there. Watch this maneuver. He got through about 3 Mississippi defenders to get that basket. He's just not depending on his long-range shooting today. He is snaking his way through Rebel defenders to get baskets.
Graham commits the foul as Meeks records his 7th point. That's what he did that 4 of 15 shooting day in Oxford. Today he's hit 3 of his first 5 shots. As Porter took a bop on the head and goes to the Kentucky bench. DeAndre Liggins has replaced him. Meeks completes the 3-point play. 8 points in the early going for Jody Meeks. This telecast featuring Kentucky, brought to you in part by the Kentucky Farm Bureau.
Kentucky has stayed in their man-to-man defense for pretty much this first half. So far,
Huertas fouled. Kentucky players wanted a tie-up, but instead it's a foul on Ramon Harris.
I actually thought Meeks did a pretty good job defensively getting his hand on the ball, but it was Harris that grabbed him by the arm as he was trying to get down the lane. Coach Bill Gillespie, who has been under some fire in his own right, really protesting that call. I actually thought it was the right call. I thought Harris had him by the arm.
He embattled Billy Gillespie with Kentucky fans, the Big Blue Nation, not happy with the Wildcats' 8-8 league performance. Their 4 losses in a row. Huertas gets his first point at the free throw line. There's Billy G in his 2nd season. I mean, it's been a rough one. Huertas knocks down 2 free throws, his first 2 of the game.
Mississippi right back with full court pressure.
Harris into front court, still going. And then taken away from him. First turnover for the Wildcats. Huertas laid it in over Liggins.
Tom, if there's one thing that really has been a problem for Kentucky all season long, it has been turnovers.
Harrelson partially blocked. And then an Ole Miss foul called on Bogan, I believe.
Kentucky leads the Southeastern Conference in turnovers, and right here they create. Mississippi creates their first turnover as Kentucky gives it up. Huertas with a nice maneuver to get that basket. Pulled the ball back in after it had a chance of being blocked right there. Liggins made a swipe, but to no avail. Huertas too smart for that.
Kentucky now with 7 offensive rebounds here in the first half.
Rebels stay in that zone defense.
Meeks for 3. That was an air ball, just barely grazed the front of the net. Huertas picked it off, and now Ole Miss has it. Rebels with the ball up 1. Another Kentucky foul. It's on Harris. That's his second.
Ole Miss a little patient on offense today. Usually a club that likes to go up and down. They're the 9th leading scoring team in the conference. They average about 73 a game, but today in their half-court game, on most of their possessions, they've been pretty patient.
Meeks will get a rest, and Liggins goes out of the Kentucky lineup too as Kevin Galloway and Michael Porter come back. Galloway's first appearance. Nice inbounds play. It went to Huertas, and he got an open one right at the rim as Kentucky had earlier.
Porter got hung up on a screen. He went one way and then came back the other way, and Porter ran right into the screen.
Stevenson to Porter. Without Patterson in there, they kind of struggle to look for someone inside, and Stevenson turns it over. Second turnover for the Wildcats. Huertas has scored the last 6 points for the Rebels. Bogan just dribbling out front. Now gets a little penetration, but still putting on the dribbling exhibition. Bogan for 3. No good. On the rim, Bogan chases it down. He knew right where it was going. Huertas for 3. That's no good. And good position by Harrelson for the rebound. 11 minutes to go. First half. Opening game SEC tournament. They concede Porter the shot. He passed it up. Now he gets it to Harrelson, takes it back. 10 to shoot. Harrelson. Cranston caused him to travel. Third Kentucky turnover. Well, Kentucky got an easy basket on an inbounds play. This time it's the turn of the Rebels. Ole Miss holding Kentucky to 33%. 10:34 left in the first half, and Ole Miss leads Kentucky 17-14 as we look at our Haviland defensive shield. As Kentucky leads the SEC in field goal percentage defense, holding opponents to 38.6% shooting. Billy Gillespie sets his stock on defense, and the Wildcats leading the league in field goal percentage. However, shooting is a different story. Kentucky, normally the top shooting team in the SEC, only hitting 33% to open this one, 6 of 18. You'd look good in that hat, by the way.
I would indeed, yeah.
And the Rebels are 6 of 13. That's 46%. Kentucky's 0 for 3 from three-point range. Ole Miss 1 of 4.
I was going to say the Rebels rank 11th at field goal percentage.
Three-pointer on its way, no good. Patterson, who's come back in at the timeout, gets his 5th rebound. Kentucky's turned it over now, 3 of the last 4 possessions. Let's see if the Wildcats get something going with Patterson back in the game. Here's the entry pass from Meeks. Patterson scores.
Nice call, Tom. You get the big guy back down in the middle, get him the basketball. He'll do something with it. Patrick Patterson, nice move.
That breaks a 3-minute, 15-second drought for the Wildcats. Spinning and passing, and then An Ole Miss turnover. That looked rough from the start.
Pretty good defensive work that time, I thought, by Kentucky. Andy Kennedy upset with the way his offense attacked Kentucky's defense. Jody Meeks with a nice entry pass to Patterson on the side, and Patterson used the glass effectively.
Kentucky a chance to regain the lead on this possession. Galloway floats it into Patterson. Draws a crowd, partially blocked by Malcolm White, and taken down by Ole Miss. Here's Bogan, guarded by Porter across the timeline. And then
that's a double dribble. Yeah, that's a good call.
So back-to-back Ole Miss turnovers. They have 3 in the first half.
Give Kentucky's defense a little bit of credit on those last 2 possessions by Ole Miss. I thought the Wildcats may have had their 2 best defensive possessions in this first half.
Turnovers all even. Patterson. They made it a priority to go to him since he re-entered the game. Nice pass. Stevenson is fouled. That was Jody Meeks that whipped it underneath to Patterson and Tarico White, or to Stevenson, and Tarico White commits the foul.
Jody Meeks has made 2 very good passes, but that's not what he's known for. He's known for his scoring. Here's one of his nice maneuvers down the lane as he pulls up with about an 8-foot jump shot right in front of the lane. A good drive to the basket, drawing the foul, and another good drive to the basket to get inside and draw the foul.
He has 8
Meeks
points.
off to a good start with those 8.
Perry Stevenson hits the free throw. There's Meeks as 8 points and an assist on 3 of 6 shooting. That was the first point of the first half for Stevenson. Second free throw could give the Cats the lead, and he got it.
Tom Meeks has attempted more threes than all of the other team members of Kentucky together. And you know what? I think that's okay if I'm the coach.
And he's hit 41% of them.
Yeah.
So the Rebels in a 3-minute dry spell as the Wildcats were earlier. Tarico White, nice move to the rim, missed the jam, but he was fouled by Stevenson.
How about that freshman? Did he go strong to that rim? Watch this again. Look at this. I mean, there is no fear in this guy's heart. I mean, he went right straight inside against one of the best shot blockers in the conference in Stevenson.
And Stevenson, I think, did get him with a body. As Tarico White gets his 4th point. SEC Freshman of the Year from Memphis, Tennessee. Craigmont High School. He was 3A Mr. Basketball last year. Scored 2,300 points. Had his jersey retired, 3-time All-State in Tennessee, and a football quarterback, and a good one as well. Kentucky against the Ole Miss pressure. Meeks, 3. No good. Rebounded by Huertas. 8.5 to go in the opening half. Graham. Wild shot that goes in.
Wow. He got it up over 4 Kentucky defenders.
4 points for Zach. And style points on that one as well.
That was a Zach attack. Well, the Rebels have really stayed with this 2-3 zone, haven't they? Made it tough on Kentucky.
Stevenson reverse as he drives baseline. Perry Stevenson with the bucket.
Tom, that was a terrific pass by Galloway that time down inside. He got into the lane and the Rebels came to him and he dropped it off. A perfect pass.
Tarico White gives it back. Basket good by Holloway and a Kentucky foul. Rebels and the Wildcats in a close one here. Perry Stevenson commits the last Kentucky foul, his second. It's a 1-point game. I like the picture of you, Larry.
Well, yours is not too bad. Who are those 2 young guys? Thanks, guys. That's very nice.
It doesn't look like the same man.
No, a little more gray, a little more snow on the top of the hill there.
Well, the all-freshman team, we mentioned Tarico White was a unanimous choice on that team and is the freshman of the year. Here's a look at the SEC all-freshman team as chosen by the league coaches.
Tarico White, JaMychal Green, and who was the other one? D. Bost over at Mississippi State were the 3 unanimous choices for the all-freshman team. It's a good group right there.
It is.
It bodes well for the future of the Southeastern Conference.
Holloway's free throw no good. Yanked down by Patrick Patterson, who has a half dozen rebounds. Kentucky still poor shooting, 36%, 8 of 22. While Ole Miss is at 50%, 8 of 16. Stevenson, that'll get the percentage up. Harry Stevenson's hit 2 field goals in a row and has 6 points.
I think he found out you can shoot better if you're facing the basket and not trying to shoot it with your back to the basket. Nice move.
That's our 6th lead change of the first half, and we've had 6 ties. Holloway came off there, and a Rebel foul.
Harry Stevenson always gets himself into good position to receive the basketball. If the Kentucky teammates are looking for him, he usually gets the basket. Good pass by Harris that time down inside. Stevenson with a little hesitation to get that ball up.
Harry Stevenson has scored the last 6 points for the Wildcats.
Tom, I thought at the beginning of the season that if he had a really good season this year, that Kentucky could go on and win 25 games or maybe even more. He's been very inconsistent. I mean, he's had some games where he has played very, very well, and there are other games where he's just disappeared.
Kind of an enigmatic player. You can't really figure out what motivates him or when he's going to play well or not play so well. Darius Miller into the game misses his first shot, but there's Stevenson to tap it in. He scored 8 in a row for Kentucky. Maybe you motivated him with that.
Yeah. Maybe he has an earpiece over there.
And an over and back call against the Rebels. Their 4th turnover.
Andy Kennedy with a scowl on his face right now. Not happy with his offense. Miller with a miss. Stevenson with a tip. Well, the offensive rebound by Kentucky in this first half, particularly for Patterson and Stevenson, has been really good.
The offensive board work of the Wildcats is the difference in the game. They have 8 offensive rebounds. Kentucky playing without Jody Meeks on the floor. Darius Miller looking inside. Patterson drawing a crowd. So Porter misses the 3-point shot. Another offensive rebound, and good by Harris. His first basket.
Well, Kentucky just finding a way to get inside and get those offensive rebounds and stickbacks. Against the Rebel team, it's a pretty good rebounding team.
Huertas pulls up on Porter. No good. Patterson has 7 rebounds. Miller. An 8-0 run by the Wildcats has given them a 5-point lead.
Watch Miller on the left side. The hesitation, the look, the arch, the net. Nicely done by Kentucky. They have put it together here in the last 2 minutes.
Try Sonic's new everyday value menu, the best way to satisfy your Sonic cravings without breaking the bank. It delivers the great variety you'd expect, all for only $1 each. Try the Junior Deluxe Burger, Chicken Strip Sandwich, Junior Breakfast Burrito, many other items, all for $1 each all day, every day. Not just good, it's Sonic good. 8-0 run by the Wildcats, led by Perry Stevenson. And Kentucky 28-23 over the Rebels. And Jody Meeks still on the bench during this flurry of points for the Cats. As the SEC tournament presented by Haviland continues with Georgia and Mississippi State coming up next. Tarico White with a pull-up shot and a pretty one. Tarico White breaks the Ole Miss drought. He has 7 first-half points.
The Rebels have come out of that zone defense. They have. They've gone back to their man-to-man defense.
They look to Patterson low, guarded by Cranston. Instead, it's Stevenson who feels the hot hand. No good. And where does the rebound?
That was a false field.
Well, he deserved it after scoring 8 in a row.
Absolutely. That would.
5 minutes left in the half. Oh, three-point shot by Tarico White, and he scored 5 in a row. He's the first player in double figures.
I love the way this freshman plays. First time I ever saw him play, I said, this guy is a basketball player. He is terrific.
See the three-point shooting. Kentucky blank so far. As we're tied at 28, 7th tie of this first half. Porter pulls up, shot way short. Kept alive by Harris, but right to Ole Miss. Picked off by Terrence Henry, and the Rebels have it, and a chance to take the lead. Just a moment ago, they were down 5. Huertas curls, three-pointer is there. Huertas has 7 as he came off the curl, ready to shoot, and knocked it down.
Nothing but a series of runs for these two clubs. Kentucky jumped out with that 8-0 run, and the Rebels answered.
Now they go back to Patterson, double teamed, lost it. Henry has it, and Ole Miss takes the turnover.
Not a good pass by Patterson that time. He was trying to get it to Stevenson on the baseline, and there was no room in there.
5 Kentucky turnovers. Tarico White, long three, no good. Patterson continues to be a force on the boards with 8 rebounds.
They want Patterson in the worst way, and the Rebels know they're trying to get the ball to him.
Sagging that defense down all around Patrick Patterson. Look at the room they give Porter. Porter hesitates, drives, shot no good. Stevenson kept it alive for a moment before Huertas takes it for Ole Miss.
The Rebels in no hurry. They've gotten this lead back. They're going to protect it.
8 in a row after Kentucky had reeled off 8 straight. That'll be a travel as Henry fell down, and the 5th Ole Miss turnover. Tarico White leading the Rebels with 10 points here in the first half. And Huertas with a 3. Ole Miss by that margin. (31-28), the Rebels leading the Wildcats with 2 minutes 50 seconds remaining in the first half. Watercolor, a coastal resort on Florida's beautiful Emerald Coast, brings unspoiled Florida and southern hospitality to your family. The Watercolor Resort offers everything you need to paint the perfect vacation. Call 888-775-2545 or visit watercolorresort.com for more information. Mention SEC basketball for up to 25% off select vacation accommodations. 7 ties and 7 lead changes so far. Tarico White with the leading point total in the game. Meeks with 8 points. Largest lead was Kentucky by 5. That was before Ole Miss reeled off this 8-point run. And there's a Rebel foul called on Graham, his second. Ole Miss continues to outshoot Kentucky. They've hit 11 of 22, 50%. Kentucky 12 of 31, 39% as the Wildcats in the midst of one of those droughts. And Jody Meeks back in the game, scores from the free throw line, the leading free throw shooter in the conference. If he makes the second one, he'll be the first Wildcat in double figures. Kentucky only 12 of 31 shooting, 39%. See how his scoring breaks down. Kentucky 0 for 5 from the three-point line. Ole Miss is 3 of 8. Kentucky's out-rebounded Ole Miss 19-12, and 10 of those are offensive rebounds. 1 point game with 2.5 to go.
I was going to say it's rare to have more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds. Good help that time by Patterson for Miller.
Tarico White lost it. And Porter has it. Gets rid of it. Here's a 2-on-1. Meeks to Patterson.
Nicely done. Good two-man game between the two SEC performers, Meeks and Patterson.
Two minutes left. Cats back up by 1. Patterson with 6 points now. Looks like a football play, and it's a travel on Graham.
Well, he hit the hole pretty well. He got there. Somebody just tackled him before he got to the end. Nice play by Porter, keeping the ball alive to Meeks. Now watch Patterson fill out on the other side, and Jody Meeks makes a great pass.
And Ole Miss has now turned it over 3 times in a row. What a strange first half. Each team goes on an extended dry spell while the other goes on a run, and then they switch roles. Miller got a shove in the back from Cranston, who commits his first foul.
Good move that time, I thought, inside by Miller, because once he got into the lane, there was nobody around there to challenge him on the shot. Cranston got him right in the middle of the back. This is a freshman that's been playing very well for Kentucky from about the midpoint of the season on.
Here's Josh Harrelson. Going to give Perry Stevenson a rest.
Tom, you don't want to foul this Kentucky team. I mean, they are a terrific free throw shooting team, the best in the conference at 77%.
In fact, Ole Miss is second at 72, so a big margin for the Wildcats at the free throw line as Miller hits 2.
What a roller coaster first half we've had.
Yeah, we had an 8-0 Kentucky run answered by an 8-0 Ole Miss run, and now the Cats have scored 6 straight. Huertas took the ball under his arm like a football, couldn't score, but then followed in by Holloway.
Was a good effort by Holloway. A couple of Kentucky defenders in front and in back of him. Rebels go back. Looks like they're in 2-3 matchup zone again. And Andy Kennedy continues to switch defenses.
Porter looked to the bench to get the call from Billy Gillespie. Floater by Miller is good.
He has found a spot, I think, at that free throw lane from about 8 feet out, right in front of the rim.
Final minutes of the first half. Tarico White knocks down a 3 with Miller right in his face. 2 talented freshmen squaring off, and Tarico White gets number 13. Timeout, Kentucky. Announcers for this game selected and compensated by Raycom Sports, and the use of the broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Raycom Sports is prohibited. So with 40.5 seconds left, Kentucky calls a timeout. We're tied at 36. What a good first half this has been. Odd, but good.
Yeah, Tom, it has been. I mean, it's been individual performances and really the offensive rebounding that has kept Kentucky in this basketball game. But it's been the long-range shooting, particularly by Tarico White, that's kept the Rebels in it.
8 ties and 8 lead changes here in the first half.
This is reminiscent of the game they played in Oxford, actually. It was close throughout.
In that one, Ole Miss finally won it 85-80 back on January 27th after Kentucky had gone 5-0 to open conference play and was ranked in the top 25. And Ole Miss put a stop to that, and it hasn't been the same for the Wildcats since that point. Porter for 3. Front rim no good. Cranston with a strong rebound. So Ole Miss can hold for the final shot of the half, hoping to break the tie.
Well, that's the guy you want handling it right now, Tarico White. Even though he is playing out of position, he is not a point guard. He's more a small forward or a shooting guard. But they've had to move him out there because of the injury to some key players, particularly Chris Warren.
Defended by Darius Miller. Here he is going to take the final shot of the half. Tarico White laid it in. Beautiful move by White. And with 0.8 of a second left, a backcourt foul by Holloway. And Andy Kennedy, you see, saying, what in the world are you doing?
Once again, Tarico White's maneuver right here against Darius Miller. He gets inside, gets around, floats by Patterson. Then once he gets the basket, Kentucky gets the ball back to try to rush up the floor, and watch what happens. Well, you don't see it at the end right there, but the foul is committed. Kentucky goes back to the line, as Tom said, with only 0.8 of a second left.
Tarico White now with 15 points, but the foul with 0.8 of a second in the backcourt. Totally unnecessary. Gives Kentucky a chance to tie it here at halftime. Right into the bonus, though, no good. Cranston rebounds, and that will do it for the first half. Ole Miss hitting 54% of their field goals from three-point range. Kentucky staying in it with offensive rebounds. And Tarico White with 15 points. Let's go to Buzz Baker with Coach Gillespie.
Billy, talk about the first half. I thought your team really good on the offensive glass.
We did all right. We're not doing anything on the defensive end. We got a 5-point lead, and we just think people are going to roll over, and we don't have to guard them anymore. That's not a mindset that's going to get you past the first round.
Okay, thanks, Billy. We appreciate it. That's Billy Gillespie as his team goes to the locker room, trailing the Rebels of Ole Miss 38-36.
The Sunshine Skyway here in the Tampa Bay area. Tampa St. Pete, the host of the SEC tournament presented by Haviland. We're in the opening game of the first round at the St. Pete Times Forum. And before we start the second half, let's check in with Buzz Baker, who a few moments ago spoke with Ole Miss coach Andy Kennedy.
Andy, your guys come back. They had a game of runs. They get back in there, and they come out of that timeout, and they're able to get it back in perspective.
Well, our team, if nothing else, Buzz, has shown that we're pretty resilient. This is a pretty resilient group. We've had a lot of experience in coming from behind, unfortunately. They continue to battle. It's going to take a great 20 minutes. We're playing a good Kentucky team. We got to make some plays.
All right, thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. That's Andy Kennedy, Tom.
All right, in the second half underway as the Rebels will get a chance to make some plays on the first possession.
Boy, they had some adversity this year.
Warehouse missing a long three, and Patterson with his 9th rebound of the game.
On his way to a double-double, Patrick Patterson.
If he does get that double-double, and he said he's well on his way, he has a dozen of them, 13 of them now.
How about another rebound?
I'm telling you, he spent some time on the bench in the first half, but since he has returned, he has been the object of Kentucky's focus on offense and continues to rule the boards. Here's an Ole Miss miss and a Kentucky chance to take the lead. Knocked out of bounds. SEC basketball presented in high definition. We're available by Raycom Sports. Porter will pitch it in for the Wildcats. Opening minute of the second half. Stevenson fouled as he took it up by Holloway. His third foul on Murphy Holloway. Leading scorers in that first half, Tarico White with 15, Jody Meeks with 10 for Kentucky.
How about that pass that time by Ramon Harris down inside against this Ole Miss zone? Stevenson again making himself available.
First free throw rolls off.
Of the Kentucky starters, and I'm talking about the group that started today, Stevenson, the worst free throw shooter of the 5 at 68% coming in.
So the leading free throw shooting team in the nation, not in the nation, in the conference, today is 9 of 11. Near Ole Miss turnover, and then Tarico White has it come out of his hand, out of bounds. Ole Miss has had several of those sort of unforced turnovers right at the midcourt line. That's 8.
Harris was harassing him a little bit, but was really not much to get him to turn the ball over.
Jody Meeks. Meeks off the curl. Shot on its way. No good. Tarico White wades in for the rebound and then nearly lost control.
Tom, nearly all of Meeks' shots today have been short. He's hit the front of the rim with almost every one of his long-range jumpers.
Huertas missing a 3 out of bounds off the Rebels. It'll be Kentucky's ball. The officials hadn't made a call yet. All the Ole Miss players walking up court kind of gave a little clue. And then the call is made against Billy G and the Wildcats. I think Ole Miss even thought they'd hit it last. Rebels set it up, trailing by 1. Get it into the hands of Tarico White.
And why not? Tough defensive job right there for Ramon Harris.
Henry whips it inside, lost by Malcolm White. Meeks back to Patterson, 17-footer, good. Andy Kennedy disgusted over on the Ole Miss bench. Calls a timeout. Patrick Patterson reaches double figures with this bucket. Shows you he can hit the outside jumper. Well, let's update our Verizon Text of War poll. We're asking you who will be the leading scorer, Jody Meeks or Tarico White. And so far, 97% to 3%. However, Meeks has been outscored by Tarico White so far. Meeks has 10 and Tarico has 15. There you go. There's the update of what they've done today. You can text S1 or S2 to 55333. Meeks started by hitting 3 of his first 5 with 8 points, but he's 0 for 4 since then, only with a couple of free throws. Henry misses the layup. And Stevenson and Henry go down to the court. Henry missed a wide open layup.
Really not contested inside when he started dribbling down the middle. Look at this. I mean, he's right there for an easy layup, misses it, and Stevenson can't hold on to the basketball. Tie up, and the arrow will give the ball back to Kentucky.
Well, Ole Miss sputtering to start the second half. They're 0 for 3 with 2 turnovers now. There you go, 0 for 4 with 2 turnovers. So Kentucky with a chance to take advantage with another possession here, already leading by 3. Biggest lead of the game has been Kentucky by 5.
Ole Miss back into that 2-3 zone. They're trying to pack it back in. They've not been very effective at shutting Patterson off. And he had a couple opportunities to score a couple more baskets and missed them easily down inside.
Kentucky around the perimeter of the zone. Harris, a 3. No good. Henry the rebound. So Ole Miss went back to the zone. Kentucky just around the perimeter. That was a push-off by Tarico White. I don't think they saw it. Instead, they'll call the foul on Kentucky. It's 3 on Porter. Or Harris it is. Sorry, Harris commits his 3rd.
Harris and White battling along the sidelines right there. And looks like White was the one that pushed off, but Harris with a little bit of a bump, but very negligible contact.
So 3 fouls on Ramon Harris, first player in the game with 3. Tarico White gets a screen, continues just to dribble away. Now penetrates, jump stop. Oh, that's a tough shot.
He went through 4 different Kentucky defenders that time to get that basket.
17 points for Tarico White. Zone defense again from the Rebels.
Patterson at a high post right now floating back down inside.
Fumbled it, got it to Porter. 3-pointer on its way, no good. Long rebound, Harris grabs it. Here's Meeks. Jody Meeks got the roll.
Well, Tommy's effectiveness has been more inside today than it has been outside.
A dozen points for him now as they nearly make the steal, Harris. That's Meeks' first field goal since 13:20 left in the first half. Blocking foul. Well, he said blocking foul, and then a point the other way. Foul's called on Henry of Ole Miss as Tarico White scores that one. 43-40, Kentucky leading Ole Miss 15-52. The King is in the house. January 27th, Kentucky traveled to Oxford. They were 5-0 in the SEC, ranked number 24 in the nation, but they met a stout Ole Miss defense that held Jody Meeks to 21 points, most coming after the issue was settled. Tarico White and David Huertas each scored 21 as the Rebels went on to an 85-80 win. Following the game, the Wildcats went 3-7 the remainder of the SEC season. And Kentucky comes into the tournament having lost 4 in a row. 8-8 in conference play. Ole Miss 7-9. Stevenson, ball fake. Cranston fouled him.
Once again, Harris with a good pass. Kentucky has really worked the perimeter of this zone defense of Ole Miss's. Once the ball is reversed and comes back, if Ole Miss doesn't adjust to it, that bounce pass down inside by Harris is wide open, and usually it's Stevenson receiving it.
Harry Stevenson at the Kentucky free throw line. Rolls around and through. Stevenson's hit 4 of his 5 free throw attempts and has 10 points.
Tom, I have to say, at least to this point, that Kentucky has taken better care of the basketball today than I have seen all season.
They have 5 turnovers. Stevenson, front rim, backboard, and down. Tarico White, meanwhile, on the Ole Miss bench with an ice pack to his eye. Can't afford to have him on the bench if the Rebels have a chance to win. Porter to Meeks. Porter to Stevenson to Meeks. And Kentucky has the biggest lead of the game. Timeout, Ole Miss.
I think Andy Kennedy is just trying to keep this one from falling apart right now, as Kentucky has made a serious run at them. Ole Miss has only scored 2 points in this half. Porter with a nice pass. Stevenson lost it. He tipped Patterson, tipped it to Stevenson, and Meeks with the finish.
Stevenson started that sequence by slapping the ball away, and then Porter back over his head. Stevenson tapped it to Patterson. Patterson back to Stevenson and to Meeks. That was pretty. So Tarico White continues to rest over on the bench, and they can't afford to be without him. There he is back in the game.
Well, they've got to play him. He had 15 first half points. Here he is with one of his long-range threes. He shot the ball awfully well out there. 3 of 5 from beyond that three-point line, and he was very effective at getting inside by putting the ball on the deck. He is a terrific handler of the basketball.
And so Tarico back in the game. We saw him with the ice pack a moment ago. He's hit 6 of his 8 shots, including 3 of 5 from three-point range, and has 17 points.
Interesting that Bill Gillespie countered by putting Miller, the freshman, in there against him.
And White came up way short on that 3, but an offensive rebound from Malcolm White and a tie-up. Possession arrow to the Rebels.
Murphy Holloway's back in the game down inside, maybe to help against Patterson.
Long inbounds pass to Huertas, broken up by Meeks. Here's Meeks against Huertas. Good!
A lot of body contact there and no foul called. Meeks with the basket, and again, good defensive work by Kentucky.
Ole Miss has turned it over 6 times already this half. 12 in the game. Graham laid it in. They needed that.
Oftentimes, Kentucky's defense seems to break down in that last dribble just before they get to the rim. If somebody gets beat, you've got to rotate over and help your teammate.
Miller off Stevenson. Kentucky turnover number 6. Watch for Geico's Best of 2009, a traveling tour celebrating the best games, players, and performances of the year. Go to raycomsports.com for more information. Find out when Geico will be visiting a college campus near you. Tarico White against Darius Miller, freshman against freshman. Huertas fakes Porter into the air, gets open for the shot, and hits it.
You better not take that fake, but he almost makes you respect him because he can shoot so well out there.
First basket of the half for Huertas. He has 11 in the game.
I asked him before the game, I said, how badly does your hurt foot? He said it hurts a lot.
Didn't start, but came in the first half. Porter goes to pick it up. 10 to shoot. Miller right in the center of the defense to score.
It's the third time he's dribbled that ball down in the lane. He's got 2 baskets and was fouled on the other occasion. Ole Miss's defense is breaking down in the middle against Miller.
Darius has 8 points, and the Wildcats have gotten 36 in the paint today. Huertas has to save it inbounds, scramble for it, still loose. Stevenson wins the battle. Porter for 3. And Huertas another rebound. He's closing in on a double-double too. He has 7 boards. Reach-in Kentucky foul is called. Under the turnovers, 7 already in this half by Ole Miss. Michael Porter has committed his 3rd personal foul. And DeAndre Liggins will replace Porter.
It's a little better defender out front, I think, against Huertas to put Liggins in there with his long reach. Makes it more difficult for Huertas not only to get by him because he's got quick feet, but tough to shoot over him.
Holloway against Stevenson. And now here's Tarico White. Tough shot in traffic, and it's a Kentucky foul. It's on Liggins. As Tarico White gives that freshman a baptism right away off the bench. Drives on him, and Liggins commits the foul.
Those are 2 tough guards that Mississippi has offensively. Huertas and White, Tarico White I'm talking about, because they can put the ball on the deck. They're good long-range shooters. They give you a complete offensive package.
Interesting, the freshman matchups. Tarico White has been guarded by Darius Miller and now by DeAndre Liggins. All 3 were highly touted freshmen coming out of high school. And of the 3, Tarico White has had the best freshman season. That free throw never rose above the level of the rim.
This is the only part of his offensive game that really suffers because he's not a very good free throw shooter.
62%. Hits the second one, and he's 3 of 4 at the free throw line today. There's the shooting. The Wildcats much better in this second half, while Ole Miss has fallen off. Thanks to some good Kentucky defense. We heard Billy Gillespie say that they needed to play better defense as he went into the locker room at halftime. And so far, the Wildcats have. Timeout taken by Kentucky, 51-45 Wildcat lead. And of course, we're just getting started here at the SEC tournament. Second game this afternoon, a matchup of Bulldogs as Georgia, trying to match their improbable run of a year ago, will take on Mississippi State and the nation's top shot blocker, Jarvis Bernardo. That's Georgia and Mississippi State right after this game as we get started in this 2009 SEC tournament presented by Haviland.
Good chance to see SWAT in that second game.
Kentucky with 12 tournament titles, 25 overall. That's 12 since the tournament was revived. Overall, Kentucky with a tournament record of 110 wins against 21 losses. Ole Miss comes in 23-45 in tournament play. They won the championship in 1981.
Rebels still employing that 2-3 zone.
Jody Meeks. That's the first 3 of the day for the Wildcats. And Meeks now has 19. Biggest lead of the game. Kentucky by 9.
Miller's responsibility, slow down Tarico White. Now Porter's got Huertas.
They double him. He got rid of it. And a jump ball called. This time possession arrow points to the Wildcats. The 8th Ole Miss turnover of the half.
As Tom indicated, the first 3 of the afternoon for the Wildcats, and it appropriately comes from the right arm of Jody Meeks. He buries that 3. It's something the Cat fans have become accustomed to, those long-range shots of Jody Meeks.
We played 8 minutes. And Ole Miss averaging a turnover a minute in the second half.
How quickly you figure that out.
Miller went up to shoot. Saw the defense there. Saw Patterson looming and got it to Patrick. 12 points, 10 rebounds. The 13th double-double of the season for Patrick Patterson, who leads the SEC in that category. Biggest lead of the game. Henry falling down, got rid of it. And then Graham is fouled as he makes his move. Patrick Patterson with 13 double-doubles, the 19th of his career on the pass from Miller. (56-45). The Big Blue has built a substantial lead here in the first game of the SEC tournament. Watercolor, a coastal resort on Florida's Emerald Coast, brings unspoiled Florida and southern hospitality to your family. The Watercolor Resort offers everything you need to paint the perfect vacation. Call 888-775-2545 or visit watercolorresort.com for more information. Mention SEC basketball for up to 25% off select vacation accommodations. Jody Meeks leading Kentucky to this big lead here in the second half as the Wildcats have hit 8 of their 13 shots to open the half. After a poor shooting first half, 41%, 61% here in the second half. And Kentucky with 10 assists and only 6 turnovers. There's another Kentucky foul. This one on Miller, his first.
Tom, while we were at break, you and I were discussing, and I said to you, I didn't think Ole Miss looked very organized in this second half so far. I think a lot of that is as a result of Kentucky's defense. Maybe what Bill Gillespie said to him at halftime, the message got across because they really have played much better defense in this second half so far.
For the game, Ole Miss has 6 assists, but 14 turnovers. We told you Kentucky was 10 assists to 6 turnovers. Henry takes it to the basket and scores. First basket for Terrence Henry, the freshman from Monroe, Louisiana.
I got to tell you, the Rebels have really broken Kentucky down a couple of times, about 8 or 10 times today, and dribbling to the basket.
9 minutes into the second half of the opening game. Off the curl. Meeks tried to split defenders and a reach-in foul on Mississippi.
Foul was committed by Kentucky. Let's go back and take a look at the Ole Miss offense. Nice move down the middle. And again, no one there to really help down inside as Terrence Henry gets up with an easy layup. A little contested at the end, but not much.
And then Henry commits the foul. That's a travel. Stevenson, I should say. Stevenson shuffled his feet. There, the turnover story. 20 points off the 14 Rebel turnovers is big.
Nice help by Patterson that time on Tarico White.
And there's like another turnover about to happen, and it does. 15. Patterson, though, can't catch up to it as he runs the floor and then crashes into the table. Apparently he's okay.
Porter trying to make a very difficult pass there. Patterson was ahead of him, but he threw it straight ahead. It's hard to catch the ball, find the basket, and keep your balance. Porter should have held on to that one and taken it in, and if no break is there, just set your offense.
I know the Super Bowl was held here, but that looked like a goal pattern. And he overthrew him. Tarico White. No. Patterson taps it to himself, then has to save it from Cranston. That's 11 rebounds for him. He's had 11 at least the last 5 games in a row. Deflected out of bounds by Ole Miss. Ruby Tuesdays, handcrafted burgers and bowl-on flavor, big on taste. 25 great burgers with endless fries starting at $5.99. The new Ruby Tuesday, so good it's guaranteed. Cranston hammers Meeks with the body, his 3rd foul.
Tom, that was an outstanding out-of-bounds play run by Kentucky that time. Meeks with a little hesitancy on his part. Waited until the area cleared. He came off of a screen, curling down deep. And was wide open, and Cranston could do nothing but foul.
It's a rare thing when Jody Meeks misses a free throw, but the first one no good.
Good pass down inside. There's Cranston with the body. almost a collective gasp in here when Meeks missed that free throw.
Second one back on target. 20 points. He scored 20 for the 21st time this season. Terrico White fouled by Miller. No one can defend Terrico White.
Well, nobody has all season, at least within conference play. You know, you talked about earlier the fact that he's averaging 13 points a game. Within conference play, he averaged 18 points a game.
That's 6 fouls, too, against Kentucky with an even 10 minutes left in the game. Midway through the second half. Porter out and Galloway in for Kentucky. I don't know what happened. There was some kind of warning at the Kentucky bench. Holloway with an acrobatic bucket and a Kentucky foul. He went flying through the air to score, and Meeks commits the foul.
Watch Murphy Holloway right here. Good maneuver down in there. I'm not sure Meeks was even moving. He looked like he was pretty stationary. Makes no difference. Holloway's going to get a chance at a three-point play.
Holloway, another one of the Ole Miss talented freshmen. He's from Irmo, South Carolina. He was South Carolina Mr. Basketball and Gatorade Player of the Year in the Palmetto State last year, as Galloway is out and Porter returns.
Murphy Holloway, you were talking about his play. He averages about 6 rebounds a game. He's had several double-figure rebounding games this year.
And 6 double-doubles in his first season. Scored on the free throw. Battle for the rebound. Who wins? Patterson. Who else? A dozen for him now. Zach Graham trying to stay with Meeks. Now back in the hands of Porter to set it up. Meeks driving on Graham. Cranston comes to help. Meeks whips it to Miller. Passed up the shot. Now 7 on the shot clock. Miller back rim. Cranston has it for Ole Miss. 4 boards for him off the Rebel bench. White back to Holloway, who travels. 16 Rebel turnovers.
Consternation on the face of the coach of the Ole Miss Rebels, Andy Kennedy, trying to get his club organized in the second half. And Kentucky's just not letting that happen.
They have committed 9 turnovers in this second half.
Cranston's trying to call the game over there. He's telling the officials he walked with the ball. Yeah, he did after you grabbed him.
So Cranston commits his 4th personal foul. First player in the game with 4. $16 fouls now against Ole Miss.
Rebels back in their man-to-man defense. Kentucky will look to Meeks and look to Patterson, as they have all season long.
And why not? Yep. Patterson averaging 18 a game. Meeks averaging 25 a game. Nice pass to Patterson, and just fouled Cranston out of the game. DeAndre Cranston fouls out of the game with a deuce in the scorebook. And Malcolm White will replace Cranston. And let's take a final look at our Verizon Text of War. Ludie Meeks, the overwhelming choice to outscore Terrico White. 91% to 9%. Second free throw, no good. Malcolm White has it.
Terrell Patterson misses the free throw, too.
Patterson about 77%. 5th in the conference. Holloway Huertas comes out. Galloway.
Seems like every time I look up, Stevenson is on the floor. He's been pounded on all day long. He gets up, keeps on going. An Energizer bunny.
8 minutes to go. Meeks on the pick and roll back to Patterson. That's a pretty healthy duo right there. But Patterson misses the shot. Huertas has it. 8 rebounds for him. Still going. Lost it for a moment, then blocked out of bounds by Patterson. First Kentucky block of the game. But the Wildcats have the lead. Hoping to advance in the SEC tournament in Tampa. In the first game of the 2009 SEC tournament, presented by Haviland from Tampa, Kentucky leading Ole Miss 58-49. And we'll check some other March Madness tournament scores in college basketball. Kentucky, as you look at those scores, led by Meeks with 20. Patrick Patterson, 13 points and 12 rebounds. When Ole Miss beat Kentucky earlier this season, they had 3 players with over 20. Malcolm White, Tarico White, and Huertas. Today, Tarico White leads with 18. Huertas has 11, and Malcolm White 4. Huertas is fouled. So he makes a move to the hoop. And David will go to the free throw line. Meeks has his second foul.
You know, the Florida transfer, Huertas, really is one of the best catch and shoot guys, I think, in the Southeastern Conference. He's really good at coming off the screen, letting the ball hit in his hands and getting it in the air and toward the basket in a hurry. This wasn't enough room, I guess, at the guard position down in Florida for him to stay.
Front rim and down. Huertas from Puerto Rico. Was on that national championship team with the Gators before transferring to Ole Miss, sitting out a year. Went to high school in Jacksonville. Second free throw good. It's 58-51. Ole Miss still won't go away as they apply some full court pressure. Patterson, double team, missed, got his own rebound. Scrapping for it and then losing it. Picked up by Malcolm White. Ole Miss with a chance for back-to-back buckets here. Tarico White, short, way short.
Patterson with another rebound.
Darius Miller. Malcolm White with another board. Kentucky's in a prolonged drought here, but Ole Miss unable to take full advantage. Causes turnovers. Graham, he came up short. Everything's coming up short for the Rebels here. And Kentucky has gone 5 minutes without a field goal. They missed their last 4.
Ole Miss doesn't start making some baskets, they're going to come up short in the scoring column, too.
Steal. Holloway stepped into the passing lane and picked it off. Turns on Meeks. Patterson with a block. Here's Meeks the other way. Crossover against Huertas. White deflected it out of bounds.
Patrick Patterson with a nice block down inside. He is one of 4 guys that have been in the top of the shot blocking category all season long. Perry Stevenson, his teammate, 1. Chris Johnson at LSU. And, of course, Swat over at Mississippi State. And there's our Swat attack. Kentucky second in the NCAA and also second in the conference.
To Mississippi State, who plays Georgia next. Second block of the game for Patrick Patterson. Henry replacing Graham in the Ole Miss lineup. So almost 6 minutes now since the last Wildcat field goal. It came at 11:49. And still, they're up 7.
A little housekeeping going on right now underneath that basket. Where would we be without the ball boys and ball girls to help clean up the floors after all that perspiration, you know? We'd be here all night.
Michael Porter's checking out it right over here. Now where does it? No, there's a spot right there. Let me have it.
Once those guys are union. Have a kids union.
.604 to go in the game, and Kentucky with the lead and the ball. There's Billy Gillespie over on the bench. Holler Jody. Let's see if they go to Jody. Nope, it's Miller instead. He gives it to Stevenson from Darius Miller.
How many times today has Stevenson been in that position to receive that pass? Good bounce pass by the freshman Darius Miller.
Breaks a 6-minute drought for the Wildcats in the field goal department. Henry taken away by Patterson.
Got to compliment Kentucky's defensive work in this second half. Bill Gillespie said going out at halftime to Dave Baker, we need to play better defense. They have done that here in the second half.
9 steals, and as you saw there, 40 points in the paint. Here 2 more. Nope, blocked by Malcolm White. Nice block by Malcolm White. Here's Tarico White into front court. Huertas is fouled. It's going to be on Miller. It's 3 on Darius. One plus one at the Ole Miss free throw line with 5:08 on the clock. First free throw good. Huertas shaking off the premature horn as Graham returns and Holloway goes out.
Well, it is the first day of the tournament. Everybody has to get used to the start, huh? Even the official scorekeepers, the timers.
15 points now for David, playing with the injured left foot. Gets the Kentucky lead back to 7. Full court pressure from the Rebels. Patterson, quick pass to Meeks. Racing Graham to lay it in. And 1.
There was no way Zach Graham was going to keep up with Jody Meeks. Excellent offense on the pressure defense presented by Ole Miss. Kentucky streaking to the other end. Good pass by Patterson to Meeks. Out in front, Graham can do nothing but foul. Well, Meeks is so quick with that basketball. He even slowed up a little bit to make sure he got there.
And protecting the ball with his body, drew the contact and a chance for a 3-point play. Closing in on his league-leading average. Suddenly, the Wildcats lead by 10. 5 minutes left. Now, Ole Miss is experiencing a drought. They've gone 5 minutes without a field goal. There's his floater, partially blocked by Patterson. His third block. Here's Harris leading the Kentucky break, but Ole Miss hustles back on defense. Graham made sure he found Meeks. Meeks puts it inside to Stevenson.
That was a good catch by Stevenson. Yeah. The ball almost got by him.
Dangerous pass back out to Miller. Now 8 to shoot. Miller spins and scores.
How about that freshman? Deep into the lane that time. The defense converged and he spun and went the other way. A little 4-footer right in front of the rim. Pretty play.
10 points for him. He had 12 in Oxford in the meeting earlier between these two. There's an offensive foul call on the Rebels. Terrence Henry.
Darius Miller with a good offensive performance today for the Cats off of the bench. Look at this spin move. After the defense had cut him off on the baseline, he went the other way. And an easy layup in there. Miller with a good game this afternoon.
He's the 4th Kentucky player in double figures. Miller with 10. As the Wildcats with 4:02 left, hoping to avenge that earlier loss in Oxford, which signaled the start of the decline for the Wildcats. Opened the conference season 5-0 until that loss at Oxford turned things around in the bad direction. And their defense, Coach Billy G called for more defense. He got it. 29% shooting by the Rebels in the second half, and a bunch of turnovers as well. Weave action with the Wildcats. Meeks said enough of that weaving stuff. Let me just take it to the rim and reverse it through. How about that?
Guys, that looks really pretty out front, but let me show you what you really need to do.
25 for Jody.
Nice move inside.
He has 15 of his 25 in the second half. Graham with a pull-up. Short again. Rebounded by Stevenson. 7 boards for Perry, who's had a good game. A lot of heroes for the Wildcats today.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about it is that it's been a story of 2 different halves. Kentucky did not play very well in the first half. Credited to Ole Miss's defense, and I think Kentucky's defense in the second half has been superior.
Shot clock, 7. Darius Miller, pull-up shot, the floater rolls in. Nice touch. Darius has a dozen.
I tell you, he's almost patented that move going into the lane. The little pull-up jump shot anywhere from 4 feet to 8 feet.
And the Wildcats fans have started their celebration here in Tampa. Here's a 3 by Tarico White, an impossible 3. It breaks a 7-minute Rebel drought. Way deep, Tarico White now has 21 points. Toyota Info Center on RaycomSports.com is your online destination for complete coverage of SEC basketball. Be sure to check out the Toyota Info Center at RaycomSports.com.
Well, as Tom indicated, oftentimes you run those offenses and it looks really nice out there. Then you give it to the guy who can get things done. The left-handed dribble, the reverse off of the glass, and Jody Meeks has reached his average here on that basket.
Jody with 25 to lead the Wildcat attack. Darius Miller has 12. Stevenson has 13. Patterson has 13. And 13 rebounds to boot. Perry Stevenson with 13 points and 7 rebounds. And Ramon Harris has 6 rebounds. Jody Meeks with his 21st 20-point game. Gets a rest after scoring 25 here against the Rebels. In the first meeting at Ole Miss, which the Rebels won, they held Meeks to 21 points, most of those coming after the game had been decided, and a poor shooting night. He made up for it today. Galloway drives on Bogan, no good. Got his own rebound, though, for a moment. Then Graham takes it for the Rebels. They're down 13. Zach Graham, long 3, no good. Easy board for Patterson. That's 14 of them.
Tom, the Rebels have only scored 18 points in the second half.
And their shooting continues to be sub 30%.
Their problems have been compounded by constantly turning the ball over, too, which has really hurt them. And to Kentucky's contribution, they've taken advantage of it.
It's been a nice second half for the Wildcats. On the verge of advancing to meet regular season champion LSU. Ole Miss comes up with a steal, but time their enemy now. Tarico White, short. Picked up by Harris as we approach the 1-minute mark.
Looks like the Cats are going to advance, Tom.
And they'll meet LSU, the regular season champion. They lost to LSU at Rupp Arena, blowing a 10-point second half lead. Miller. Stevenson chases it down.
That'll just about do it.
Well, as we said, a lot of heroes for the Wildcats today. They had plenty of people play well in this second half especially. They will avenge their loss in the regular season to the Rebels and move on in the SEC tournament. Galloway with a nice pass to Patterson. At the buzzer, the shot by Malcolm White counts. And Kentucky has won its opening game in the SEC tournament, 71-58 over Ole Miss. We'll be back to Tampa after these messages from your local SEC station.